On average, startup founders in Germany are between 25 and 34 years old. Luis, you are far away from that. You are 16 and in 10th grade of Berlin Cosmopolitan School. You founded your first startup when you were 14 years old, and it was an online shop for Minecraft items. And to be honest, most teenagers in that age have much different stuff in their head than founding a company. Why was that different for you?
So, some friends and me, we played together on a Minecraft server. So basically a customized world where you could play different game modes. And we saw that the Minecraft server we played on sold a lot of virtual items for a lot of money. And we thought it's really easy to make and do on our own. So why can't we create a virtual items shop? So.
Okay, and yeah, what was the motivation to start a business? Was it to earn money, or was it just to have a better CV when you apply for jobs later?
Well, I was 14, so the main goal was to make some money.
Okay, and yeah, what did your parents say?
They were surprised and also very interested, and they also supported me in building the virtual items shop. So yeah, great support.
Okay. And where did you learn how to found a startup? It's not a topic at school usually.
Some expertise from my mother, but also just experimenting on your own and looking at what the Minecraft server did, which we played on. Just basically looking at their business model and trying to figure out what suits best for us.
Okay, so it was just trial and error?
Exactly.
Okay, and how is it working when you are under the age of 18 and want to found a business? How does it work?
So in the virtual items shop, it's a very gray zone. So you can sell virtual goods as a shop online without having to found a company directly.
Okay.
So yeah, basically at first it works as a private person selling the virtual item shop, and if you exceed a limit of income, then you have to found a company.
Okay. And yeah, did you learn anything at your school that helped you when founding your startup?
Not really, because what really helped us was just looking at already successful Minecraft servers and shops, which our school didn't offer at all. I didn't have economics in school at that time, and no.
And what would you say needs to change in schools to maybe that you learn a bit more about economics or something?
So what our school does, it offers an elective economics course, and I think it's a great idea because the people who are interested to go into economics, they can already get a head start into economics, and if they want to already found a company at such a young age, they can with the support of the economics teacher.
Okay, are there more students at your school that do something like this?
Many wanted to do and have some ideas, but the work overload we have in our school basically limits the founding of companies.
Okay, but is there anyone that really has a company at your school?
No.
Okay.
No.
And yeah, in general, do you think that people in your age are more educated about founding because of social media?
Yeah, definitely, because you have many people or influencers who are advocates for founding a company, especially influencers who start their own merchandise, etc. Yeah, you have a lot of influence, which encourages founding of your own company.
Which is, I think the microphones are off. Which is like the top influencer for teenagers when it's about business and startups?
I think that's very different because there are so many people and who are on social media or start their own companies. Yeah, it's different for everybody.
Do you follow someone specific?
Well, I think the top influencers are my parents because they have the expertise in companies and they're also very supportive.
Okay. Your first startup, Craftco, is not existent anymore. Why is that?
So CraftCo was the virtual items shop based on Minecraft. And what happened was that we mainly sold virtual goods such as weapons, vehicles, money in the game itself. And we didn't sell a lot of cosmetic items, meaning we didn't sell different appearances in the game or different clothing. And after Microsoft acquired Minecraft in, I think, 2015 for $1 billion, they changed the end-user license agreement. So the only thing you could sell after Microsoft acquired Minecraft was cosmetic things. And because we only sold around 10% of our stuff was cosmetic, it completely changed how we made money from one day to another. So adding new content to sell takes a lot of time, and thus we lost a lot of money in a short period of amount of time. So at the end we had to close.
Okay. But at the time it was working, the business. How did you do it? How did you combine it with school?
So at 14, at school, well, I had a lot of free time. But what we also did, we played a lot into the night or at weekends. And yeah, because we were a great team of 8, we could also distribute work. So people live in different time zones and they can complete work when they can. So yeah, it wasn't all put on me.
Okay. Currently, you advise people on cryptocurrencies, and you haven't found a startup so far for that. So when would you found a startup for that, and why didn't you do it already?
So I would found a startup if I had enough time, because at the moment there is a lot of school stuff we have to do. We had our MSA, it's the Mittlerer Schulabschluss, and you have to basically get double the amount of work you had before to pass your exams. So time was a great hurdle to found a company.
So would you say you will do it this year or maybe next year?
Depends on how much time I have and if the workload increases. Yeah, it's dependent on time management.
Okay, but nonetheless, you will keep on advising people. So you have several clients so far, and yeah, you even manage their cryptocurrency for them. And how do they react when you, as a 16-year-old, go to them and say, "Trust me, I manage your cryptocurrency"?
At first, they're very surprised and skeptical, but after a talk, they agree to let me advise them on the topic.
But what exactly do you think makes them trust you?
Basically, the expertise over them. So, if I tell them, yeah, you have to have this amount of security with your cryptocurrencies and where you put them, etc., they trust me because I, at the moment, have the expertise over them.
Okay. And last question from my side: is your age an advantage at some point?
Well, my age was advantage, for example, that I came here to speak at the interview. But yeah, it's an advantage if I, for example, speak with a neighbor because the neighbors are really surprised if I talk about such a complex topic. And of course, they want to support somebody at such an age.
Okay. Thanks. So does anyone have some more questions? Yeah, Marie?
We have a microphone here. You can use it. Thank you.
Actually, I have several questions, but I start with one. How do you approach your customers right now? Like those you advise on cryptocurrencies? Like how do you get to know them, or how do they find you, or whatever? Then you said that you were working in a team of 8 people, and they were in different time zones. How did you? Were these friends of yours, or how did you contact them? And my third question, what are your priorities? Like, would it be founding and therefore dropping out of school, or would you like to have your Abitur, your baccalaureate, or whatever you call it? Yeah, that's it.
I basically approach clients through friends or relatives who are interested in speculating on cryptocurrencies. So you basically do small talk, and if the cryptocurrency comes up, we speak about the topic of me advising them. And about the team of 8, we had different. I think 5 were from Europe, 1 was from the US, and 1 from South Africa. And yeah, that's how we distributed work. And yeah, and my priority is first finishing school education, because there is you're not quite sure if the company you found will still exist in 5 years, and if I end up with no education and no company, that's a huge gamble for me to do.
Any other question?
Yes, we still have a couple of minutes. Use the time to get warmed up and ask your questions. Shoot away at Louis. Yes, there's a question in the middle.
Yeah, so talking about cryptocurrency right now, you have the problem in Germany or also all over the world that your regulatories are quite fishy or gray. So how could you manage that, and especially for a teenager who is not 18? How you what were your obstacles in a regulatory way, like from the instances of Germany, like the Steuern, etc.? Or is that something you're not thinking about right now?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
I think it's about the legal implications.
Yes.
Since some parts of it is regulated, some parts is not, and how do you deal with only being 16, where probably for some things you would have to be 18 just legally?
So I just manage the accounts of their cryptocurrency accounts. So what you do, you register at an exchange. So you have to give your ID, your address, etc. And what you do, if you buy and sell cryptocurrencies, you have to document the transaction of buying and selling the cryptocurrencies, and you have to give it the Finanzamt to check how much Steuern how much taxes do I have to pay. I think at the moment, if you keep cryptocurrencies for 1 year, you don't have to pay taxes. But if you sell them before keeping them 1 year, you have to pay around 30% of the profit into taxes.
Okay. Maybe I have one last question. If someone in here is still at school and thinks about founding a startup, which 3 tips can you give them?
Take your time. Don't rush into founding just because you want to found. Have a solid idea which can be supported in the future, and yeah, you'll have a solid founding.
Okay.